Well, hello everyone. Happy Friday, and thank you for joining me tonight. My name is Sahira Anaisa Al Fenice, and this is my show, A Little Hint of Magic, airing every first and third Fridays of the month on the Magical Witchy World channel. Please tune in. So, tonight, our topic is how do you sigil? We'll discuss what is a sigil, what are the benefits of creating sigils, and how do we make a sigil? So we're going to be putting our creativity to use today. We do on every show, but this is where we put our arts and crafts together. I'll try to answer every relevant question at the end if there's enough time, but I also invite everyone to DM me any topic requests, questions, or any info you want to share on IG. You can reach me at A Little Hint of Magic. Remember, magic with a CK at the end, okay? So let's get to it. What is a sigil? So a sigil is a symbol with a mystical or a magical meaning. It's a symbol you create with the intention of changing your reality to reflect your will. All sigils are programmed for a specific purpose, right? So this is where intention comes in. So you may want to attract a lover. You may want to provide yourself protection or someone else even. Although sometimes, I kind of, guard against doing magic for others without letting them know about it, or at least finding out if they're okay with it. But, if it's a child or someone that you love and you just want to provide them protection, why not, right? You can also use sigils to secure your boundaries, bring financial prosperity, for shadow work, and the list goes on. Really, there are endless possibilities. So let's get down to what the term sigil really means, where it comes from, right? So it comes from the Latin word sigillum, which means seal. So, it's funny because, there are a lot of English words that are derived from sigil or sigillium, like signature, sign, and signal. In the past, a sigil signified a type of graphic signature representing the true name of an angel, a daemon, or spirit even. It was believed that when a magical practitioner knows the entity's true name, they have control over that being. Today, sigils are used in a personal way to symbolize and manifest our desires by way of creating and charging a custom symbol. Intention setting is super imperative. We begin the sigil crafting process by creating a sentence or phrase that best states what we want to achieve. We engineer the statement to form a symbol that is read by our subconscious mind. The use of images and symbolism allows us to bypass our conscious mind, tapping into something deeper and more intuitive. Sigil magic is based on the belief that we are co-creators in our reality. So it's really empowering. Think about it that way. As a matter of fact, we're empowered to exact the changes we desire in accordance with our highest good. So think about it. You're putting your intentions, you're putting your desires, your wants, your wishes, your life and your future in your hands, and empowering yourself with not only the knowledge, but the system to possibly manifest your intention. So, what are the benefits of creating sigils? Think of sigils as small seeds implanted into your unconscious mind. What gives sigils their power is the energy and intention we put behind them. This is what feeds those seeds of intention to grow into manifestations. Some of the benefits we may experience from sigil crafting are feeling empowered. We already talked about that. By recognizing that you're the co-creator of your life story, not just a passive participant. It's not about, oh, this happened to me. Oh, my life sucks. Oh, my life, I don't know why these things happen to me. You are now, the creator of your destiny. With this sigil and all the sigil workings that you do, you can kind of take back that control and empower yourself with it so you can go and achieve the things you want in your life. You also become responsible for your life choices and actions. So again, this goes back to, what I told you before. It's about that empowering, taking that control back knowing that you're the captain of your ship, for example, right? So feeling responsibility of your life choices and actions means that you can change them. You can direct the change that you want. You also feel more connected with life and the divine. We become aware of the interconnected nature of reality. So with sigil crafting, right, and our magics, we see that there are things in this world and happenings in this world that kind of occur, inspired with our intention and our magical works, right? So we work with nature, we work with deity, we work with our spiritual court, for example, to achieve these manifestations and these intentions. You also get to express your creativity. This is what I was talking about, guys, arts and craft time, okay? This is where you get to be really creative in your sigil crafting. You become more decisive and intentional, and you become more motivated, obviously, because you know that you're basically, the captain of your ship, and you're leading your life in the direction you want. So you become more motivated to action. So how do we make the sigil? This is the fun part, right? So there are two stages in sigil making. There's a construction part where the sigil is physically drawn and created, and then the charging part where the sigil is transmuted into more than just a drawing by being given energy, or what we call by being charged. So before we start this process of sigil making, check your motivations for creating. Do you really need to create a sigil? Ask yourself that. Are you creating a sigil just to cut corners? So in other words, are you, being lazy? Because, sometimes the job that we want or the position that we want, if we work hard enough to get it, we can. And it doesn't require any magical work. So just, check yourself, figure out if this is even necessary to do this work, right? Remember, to manifest, you must put in the work. It's that simple. There's nothing else to it. Sigils will create inner changes, but you need to be responsible for making outer changes first. This is kind of going back to the point I just mentioned. If you lack objectivity to determine your course of action, simply divine. Consult your cards, use a pendulum, perform charm casting or bone casting, even throw runes, right? You can even simply ask, and the feeling you experience may really be your answer. Sometimes it's just as simple as saying, do I really need to do this? And if just something tells you, nah, I'd rather go watch a TV show. I'd rather go eat dinner. I'd rather go outside and take a walk, whatever it is. That means, nah, you don't need to do it. Just keep that in mind. Trust your intuition and trust yourself. So here are some simple and easy steps for sigil making. First of all, most important part, create a safe space, right? So this means like creating a magical circle of protection, cleansing your area, making sure that your working altar is completely cleansed of energies, whether it be positive or negative at this point, because you don't want anything kind of, footsing away with your sigil work. So I rather just reset the energetic balance on my altar and reset it to 0, right? Choose your sigil type also, right? We have destructible sigils. You destroy them to activate them. So the energy it takes to destroy the sigil creates the burst of energy needed to power it up. So think about it. Sometimes when we make our sigils, we might light them up, right? And let them turn to ash, right? And as we light them up and they turn to ash, all our intentions, all our desires, all our prayers, right? All our wishes are going to divinity, right? And that's really what you want, right? Another sigil type is temporary. Sigils that eventually disappear over time. So the most common types of sigils are the ones drawn on your skin. You could literally take a Sharpie and draw a sigil on your skin, right? And that works, right? You use non-permanent ink. This tends to be permanent ink, but over time it'll wipe off, I promise. Or even carving a candle with that sigil that will eventually be lit and melted down. So that's temporary. And then there's permanent. This is made to last and be active for a long time. So due to its longevity, keep in mind, due to its longevity, these types of sigils need to be recharged over time so that they remain active. Because over time, it's like a battery, it starts to wear down a little bit. So you have to put a little charge back into it and it powers right back up. For example, when you paint a sigil on the wall, that's kind of a permanent sigil, right? So what you can do is you can paint a sigil on the wall and then paint right over it. The sigil still remains behind that paint, right? No one sees it, but you know it's there. And you can even touch it. Just remember what place it's in. You can touch it to kind of charge it or empower yourself with that sigil, right? You can carve into furniture. You can etch into pottery. And, there's so many endless ways that you can create a permanent sigil. So just play around with the things that you want to do. And trust me, you'll come up with something that really works for you and that will manifest your intentions. So next, we're going to draw the sigil. The first step is to form your intention as a statement using the present tense. So it's instead of saying, I will be, or this is what I want to happen, say, I am, I have. I am working at a job that fulfills me. I am well. I am here. I am present. I am lucky. I would love to say I'm a millionaire. Sometimes, my creative mind gets ahead of me, right? Because who doesn't want to be a millionaire and never work for anyone but themselves, right? Next, please focus on only one intention so that you can be laser focused and have a better chance of succeeding. So a lot of times, we have a lot of things that we want. I want this, I want that, I want to be a millionaire, I want to have a great job, I want to have a great business, I want to have love in my life, blah, 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 all that stuff. Y'all prioritize one intention per sigil, right? Do the work, be focused about it, put all your energies into that one intention. Once you're happy with your intention statement, write it on a piece of paper, right? And then you delete all the vowels and repeated letters in your statement. And I'm going to show you an example right after I talk you through the steps. Next, you start rejiggering your leftover letters one at a time, creating an abstract symbol. Let your subconscious guide you, right? So you don't have to be an artist. You don't have to be, a dope artist or super creative or, a graffiti artist or whatever to create a sigil. Sometimes it's simply just closing your eyes and seeing how those letters come together and form, and then just drawing that out. Sometimes you just play around with the letters on paper and it just kind of materializes for you. You're like, oh, wow, this is what I want. This is right. And then next step, you charge your sigil, right? You spend a few minutes with the sigil, placing your hands over it, visualizing a warm light flowing from your hands into the paper. You can also charge a sigil by dancing, chanting, or clapping. Choose the best method that fits for you with the type of sigil you're creating. So, for example, if this is supposed to be a joy-inducing sigil or something positive like for prosperity, right, instead of banishing, then, dancing, right, singing, joyfully singing, chanting, that works for you, right? If it's something that's more on the banishing side, child, I would scream that thing out. Scream bloody murder on that sigil. All that energy, that that catharsis that's happening when you're screaming that out. All that energy is just gonna flow into that sigil and power it up, right? Then, second to last, you forget and let go. You don't dwell on it. You don't obsess over it. You don't attach to the sigil. Let the universe take over and do its thing. Trust in the universe because it's got your back. Trust me. The more you think about it, the more you're involving your conscious mind. And what happens when you involve your conscious mind? You unravel your magics. So just forget it. Trust that you're living in the intention that's happening, right? So trust that it's happening. Trust that it is, you are in that moment as opposed to wishing that you were having a different moment, right? Because that'll help you. Then close your ritual space and continue your daily life. Now, one thing that I want to tell you guys about, opening circles, magical circles, and, opening up your ritual space. A lot of times, we do the work and then we just walk away and go, okay, I'm done, and we forget. Y'all, please, please don't forget to close your circles. Don't forget to farewell your spirits, deity, the elementals, anyone that you've called on to protect you in your magical circle. And most important, thank them. Thank them for being present. Thank them for the protection they provided. And thank them for manifesting your intention. Thank them. Do not forget. Always be gracious, right? So, some suggestions for sigil making and this work. Be realistic and use common sense. Try to pick something that has a decent possibility of happening. When Sonia talks about, I won the lotto, I am a millionaire, for example. My bank account doesn't show that. And although, I believe that, great things happen and that all is possible, but most likely that's not going to happen. So I am not going to do sigil work against lotto, gambling, games of chance, all that good stuff. I will do sigil work for things that are important, like my career, for example, the health of myself or my family members or those that I love, all that good stuff. That's real and that's actually actionable. All that stuff with lotto and all that stuff and becoming a millionaire. And hey, you got to be in it to win it, but sometimes it's not realistic. And secondly, phrase your intention in a positive way to better engage your subconscious mind. Again, when we say, I don't want, I want to, please provide, it becomes it's almost like you're countering your magics. You say, I am, I have, here it is, I'm living in this moment, because it will just be more positive for you. If you believe in your mind that you're living in the moment, then reality will kind of shift right to that mindset, or at least we hope it will, right? And then lastly, get to it, right? And I hope that you have an amazing time sigil crafting. So I want to show you guys some of the stuff. Like, I did this real quick, so don't judge me. It was a few minutes. It's probably reversed. I apologize, but this says I am well, right? And then I showed you how I crossed out the duplicate letters as well as the vowels. And these are my leftover letters, MWL. And then this is my little sigil. Now, it could be cuter, but you know what I love about it? This looks like a heart. And I'm all about the hearts. I'm all about the love. So it kind of worked out for me, honestly. And I did it really quickly, not even thinking about it. So I know that was my subconscious mind or my unconscious mind. It wasn't my conscious mind, because I would have tried to engineer and rejigger everything to perfection. And, that's the way my mind works. So you just kind of have to let loose and let go, right? And again, like I said before, I hope you have a wonderful time sigil crafting. So as we come to the end of our time together this week, I want to make sure that you can connect with me to ask questions, share info, or even suggest future topics. Your input is so necessary. So I want to hear from all of you. Again, please don't forget, follow and DM me on IG at A Little Hint of Magic. That's magic with a CK at the end. Don't forget. Thank you for your time. And I'm looking forward to seeing everyone May 3rd at 7 p.m. Eastern, where we'll be blending the Finding Your Tranquility Moisture Balm. I'll be posting the ingredients list so that you can blend with me on my IG at A Little Hint of Magic. Please look for it in the next few days. Have a wonderful weekend and blessed be. Thank you once again. Be well.